Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Ryan. I want you to picture this for a second, all right? It's Wednesday. You're waking up at noon, 1 o'clock. It's summer. Some of you, your parents are on top of it. And they're like, yo, you're waking up at 8 a.m. doing chores. Like, whatever you're doing today, you jump online, right? Like, the first thing you do, if you have access to a cell phone or a tablet or a laptop, PC, whatever, you jump online and you get on what? You get on social media, right? And you see an article, and this article claims to have the answer for how people should respond to or handle the virus. Welcome to 2020, the year of COVID. You know, like me, you can't get on the internet right now without seeing current events riddle all over your screen. All right, every single article or post is written like they have the answers to race issues, the virus, to balding issues. Frankly, I don't trust anybody on this one. Like, there's this one, I Google search balding issues, and then Facebook has this like algorithm where it taps into my mainframe, and right there it'll pop up ads to balding stuff. And I don't believe any of them jokers. Like, I know they're offering me a pill right now. No, I kid you not, for $30 a month, just $30 a month. And you too could have hair that looks like this. You know, it's like one of those jokers, like, it's lies, all right? But, like, everywhere and anywhere, you're seeing these articles posted about COVID, about all this stuff, and then also that they provide the answers to solve everything. All your problems will go away. All the answers will be known, and the world would be a better place. If you remember from last week, all right, so last week our verse, we talked about our verse for the month. That's Proverbs 12:14a. And it says this: from the fruit of their lips, people are filled with good things. And so he talked about like our words have the power to provide nourishment for us and others. Like you see the Apple icon up here in the corner, like the idea of like the Bible uses a lot of analogies and examples telling you like water, but also things like fruit. Now, fruit can provide nourishment for others. So we've explored the truth that our words have a power to provide fulfillment and nourishment for us and others, but they also have the power to destroy us in our relationships. Like when it comes to our words, all right, whether it's a verbal or a post, like something you post online, we what we say or post lets our followers and friends know if we're trustworthy or not, right? Like, let's say if you read an article and it sounds so good, right? Like it supports your viewpoints, like what you believe deep down inside, and you're like, yo, this is super solid. Like, imagine like if you're pro Nike or Adidas over Adidas, and you saw this post on your friend's Instagram story about how Adidas makes your feet stink. All right. And dudes who wear Adidas don't get any girls. Let me tell you something. Dudes that wear Adidas, single for life. All right. Like, it's crazy. And it sounds so legit. All right. So you take a screenshot of the post and you share that joker on your Instagram story because you're convinced that Miles, the kid that posted that, yo, he knows what he's talking about. I see that kid wearing Nikes all the time, and he's been on like 3 dates in the last month. So like you post that joke on your Instagram story, but guess what happens? You didn't fact check your post. All right, this happens all the time. Suddenly, people who wear Adidas are upset and sharing your internet blogs and posting things on your posts and articles saying Adidas doesn't make your feet stink, bro. And that people who wear Nike are prone to cankles, all right? And you're like, yo, that story's made up. It sounds dumb. Now, this whole thing is made up and sounds dumb. None of those things are true. So, like, don't go telling people if they wear Adidas that their feet stink. But you and I both know that dumb things get posted on the internet all the time. And you've been told before, not everything you read on the internet is true. I know your mama or your papa or your grandmama or whoever has told you before, not everything you read on the internet is true. I know you've been told that before. So, like, just because someone you look up to, like a YouTuber or celebrity singer, says or shares something doesn't mean what they say is true. And what we're getting down today comes down this passage. It's in Proverbs 12, 17 through 18. I think it's a great way to understand that our words need to be trustworthy. So check this out. It's 2 verses. It says this: an honest witness tells the truth, but a false witness tells lies. The words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. So, like, typically when we talk about a witness, all right, someone like bears truthful witness or false witness, often we're talking about someone who saw an act, like a crime or something, or someone running a light and gets into a car accident, and they know the fact firsthand, all right, and they can give an honest account. So, like, maybe you've watched a good example would be like watching like a court case on TV where they bring in a witness and they sit there and they put their hand on the Bible. And it's like, yo, tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and they're like, yeah, I swear to do that. And so then they give an honest account of what they saw. I just watched last 2 nights ago, I watched The Dark Knight Batman. I've been going through the whole trilogy with Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan. And in this movie, in the second movie, The Dark Knight, with the Joker, there's this drug lord, all right? And this drug lord, he's taken over all of the drug business in Gotham. And there's this witness on trial who's supposed to be there to rat him out. But this dude gets paid off and ends up lying to the court to protect the mob boss. So instead of being a truthful witness, this guy gives a false witness, a false account of what happened, all right? So if you don't give the facts straight, if you don't have the facts straight, all right? Now, I'm not talking about like lying to prove your point or something. I'm talking about reading something or saying and believing something that you haven't fact checked, all right? That you just saw, it sounded good, it supported your point, and so you're just going to go with it, and everybody just needs to believe what you believe. Like, if you don't have your facts straight and you go off the first article or post you read, you can give false witness. It's no different, all right? It's no different than being this dude who testifies in court and gives false witness so that way the court doesn't handle out justice, all right? It's the exact same thing. You can spread lies, all right? So going into something, like, you're not trying to lie, you're trying to be truthful, but if you don't fact check yourself, like if you don't do a due diligence, and you're gonna mess up from time to time, like that's just how it works. But if you just go around spreading lies, all right, you're no different than someone who gives false witness, even if you're not trying to spread lies in the first place. Now, like I said, you weren't trying to not be truthful, but you weren't trying to be correct either. So it's important to get to the bottom of something or wait for all the facts to come out before you go speak on it. Honestly, it's no different than lying when you share a post, something, without trying to figure out if it's true or not. If you don't perform your due diligence, the verse talks about being someone who is reckless is a fool, all right? So you're being reckless, and someone who's frankly not worth listening to or worth answering to. Look, I'll tell you, like, Facebook has this ability, it has this it's this unfollow feature. And when I see people that post articles all the time that I know they have a fact check, like people that posted, what's a good example? All right, here's a good example. There's this thing called The Onion, all right? And they post satire articles. You know what a satire article is? It's something that's supposed to be like funny, that's not true, that some people would easily believe is true. Like, they're gullible to it. And sometimes I see people that share stuff from The Onion because it proves what they believe, but it doesn't because it's not true. And like, dude, I just roll my eyes and scratch my head, all right? That's a perfect example of what we're talking about today. And here's what I believe about the age of social media, all right? Social media, or even like talking as a person, using your words to defend something that you haven't fact checked that could be a lie. Our responsibility as Christ followers, we are supposed to be truthful, trustworthy people. As ambassadors of God on earth, our word should be solid and good. It doesn't always mean there's one viewpoint or two viewpoints or three viewpoints on a subject, like wearing a mask or not, or all these different things. But when you share things or when you say things that might not have any factual basis and you haven't bothered to look up the example, dude, you can end up leading people astray. And I think a lot of us, we post things on social media, we say things before we know if they are truthful or not. Why do we do this? Why do we post things before we know if they're truthful or not? I think it's because we want the gratification of posting first. Like, we live in a day and age that's more interested in posting first than being right last. We'd rather take the gamble on being wrong, but being the loudest and being first to the finish line. All right? We'd rather be wrong than late to the party. It's more important nowadays in this culture to voice an opinion loud and fast than to have an informed opinion and share it late. And I would say, like, God would say that is wrong. If we read Proverbs, like, that's not what we are supposed to do. It's not wise. A good example of this would be in the middle of all this COVID stuff, like universities shutting down. The president of Liberty University, all right, he's gotten a lot of flack from last year for supporting Trump really heavily and all this stuff. Well, there's this article that came out by, I think it was like the Washington Post or New York Times, saying like he was doing all this stuff, campuses were still open, blah, 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 when everything had shut down. Well, it turned out he was doing nothing different than all these universities across the U.S. And what happened was this journalist, who is not a part of the newspaper or part of the blog or the article news source, was hired in to write one article, and they wrote this slam piece on what Liberty was doing. And turned out none of it. Like, the next day, people were attacking left and right, like Liberty was the easy target, all this stuff. Well, then the following day, it came out that none of this stuff was true, that they were doing everything mandated by the state, by the government, that they were handling everything the same way as any other university in the U.S., and it became such a big deal that journalist got fired and that news article source got sued for giving a false account, a false witness. So being first and wrong does not work out, all right? It makes you someone who's not trustworthy, not truthful. People aren't going to listen to what you have to say later on because they're like, yo, that person's going to lead me astray. So being informed, studying up on the facts, and not just believing one viewpoint is fruitful for you and the people who listen to you, because you're less likely to steer them away from the truth. Your word, man, should be sound, good, and trustworthy. That does not always mean loud and fast. Don't be like that journalist. It's better to know the facts before you speak out or speak up. Yo, this has been a good word for July 15th. Things that you need to know for who you want to be when you're 20, 30, 40, 50. When you're older, do you want to be someone who is trustworthy that people can rely on? Or do you want to be reckless with your words, giving false accounts in someone that people largely won't trust? Let's pray. God, thank you so much for this day, Father. I pray that as we continue to dive into the words of wisdom and Proverbs, Father, that we would understand just like the gravity of our speech, and that we would give an account and give the facts and try to learn and study before we speak on, anything from big world events to what's going on in our families' lives and just anything in between, Father. God, may we just try to be informed and be truthful. God, it's in your son's name I pray. Amen. All right, I will catch you guys later. Have a great rest of the week.